Welcome back to Spotlight. I'm Ed Juenka, and I'm here with two of the most beautiful guests in the Virgin Islands. Sister Saskia Barnes of Barnes PR and Sister Janet Bryn of J Marketing Group. Welcome to Spotlight. Good to see you.
Thank you so much for having us.
Thank you.
Y'all looking, as the old people used to say back in the day, y'all looking mint. What they say now?
I think people still say that.
They say looking
That's
mint.
timeless.
That's kind of the silly, right? You know, I kind of old, so I quite keep up with
No, you're
with the slang. But it's good to have you, and you're doing some really important work. Global Entrepreneur Week.
Yeah.
Global Entrepreneur Week. What is that?
Well, Global Entrepreneurship Week is basically a week where we celebrate entrepreneurs. We celebrate those persons that decide to take a risk, start their own businesses, persons who have set up some sort of entity that's employing different persons and just really providing different services to their communities and essentially enhancing the communities that they serve. If you don't mind, I can just give you a little bit of history about Global Entrepreneurship Week.
Yes, give me a little history.
It started actually in 2004 as Enterprise Week in the United Kingdom, and in 2008 a number of fairly big names got together and decided that they wanted to take the effort globally. And in 2008, Jonathan Ortman, who's the president of GEW, Carl Schramm, who was the former CEO of Kauffman Foundation, and Gordon Brown, the former Prime Minister of the United Kingdom, decided that they were going to try to work together to inspire more entrepreneurs and to celebrate entrepreneurship across the globe in hopes of really trying to stabilize and rebuild some of the economies across the globe. And at that time, 37 countries signed on to partner on this effort, and those countries ranged, all over the globe: China, France, Germany, Italy, the UK and the US, of course, and even places like Uganda and Poland. And in 2008, the first Global Entrepreneurship Week was actually celebrated with 3 million people participating in several events across the globe. And in 2011, Youth Business International, which is the Prince of Wales, one of his foundations, they decided to take over the efforts in the United Kingdom. In 2012, in the UK, Barclays decided to join the effort, commonly known as Barclays Bank. They are pretty much in partnership with Youth Business International to spearhead activities in the UK. And in the United States, it's the Kauffman Foundation, and Dell recently signed on as well to try to really work hard at celebrating, encouraging, and inspiring new persons to get into entrepreneurship. In 2013, it's expected that 7.5 million people across the globe, across 130 countries, will be participating in the effort, and it's estimated to have the numbers are quite heavy, but at least 30,000 events across the globe celebrating entrepreneurs, trying to get more persons involved in entrepreneurship, and really engaging communities in a discussion about business development and the importance of entrepreneurs in that business development.
What are your roles in the Global Entrepreneurship Week in the territory? Is it a franchise event where you have certain things that you'd have to do every year for this particular celebration, or how does that work?
Well, I actually found Global Entrepreneurship Week because as an entrepreneur, I was actually trying to find opportunities to learn more. As an entrepreneur, as you would know, you're pretty much it. You're the HR manager, you're the boss, you're the executive. There's no one else to complain to but yourself.
You're everything, right?
You're everything. So
and you're talking about small businesses, really.
Small to medium-sized businesses. So in my effort in terms of trying to find an opportunity to learn a little bit more online, I found a really great community of people that were very supportive and kind of pointed me in a different direction in terms of just basic resources, and that's how I found Global Entrepreneurship Week. So for 2012, I actually participated with activities online, and in 2013 I just kind of gave myself and my company Barnes PR the goal of actually bringing it to the Virgin Islands and actually hosting activities in the Virgin Islands. And I was very fortunate to partner with Jeanette and J Marketing Group to really try to build up the activities, market the activities, so that we can be represented in the global discussion about entrepreneurship.
Okay. And what's in your role is?
Yeah, basically marketing. I was
Summoned.
summoned by Miss Barnes here to come on board. She didn't have to
I didn't have to
convince
do
me
too much work.
It wasn't too it wasn't too hard to come on board on this very exciting event. Entrepreneurship is a very important thing in our community today. I don't know if much people realize, but in today's world, as we see large businesses downsize, it's your small businesses that have to pick up the slack, because we are the ones, the thinkers behind what's moving and what's not. So we have to step up to the plate.
And it's creating opportunity for yourself as an
Right.
individual.
Yes,
Because
she's an entrepreneur, I'm an entrepreneur, and
We hire locally.
yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Well, and two, I mean, if you don't work, if they downsize and you don't work
You have
for
to find
someone,
something.
you have to look after yourself, and
Yes.
entrepreneurship is certainly the way to go. I mean, how do you like entrepreneurship? How do you find entrepreneurship? Because I know I find it quite challenging and exciting at the same time.
It is. It is. With anything you do, if it isn't challenging, you're not really learning from it. So it's definitely something that's going to be rewarding.
Having to provide food, clothing, and shelter for yourself every day.
Well, I guess at the end of the day, for me, at least for me personally, you have a talent. You went to school, you were raised by your parents and everything. You learn things as you grow up. You get your formal education, as I mentioned. You have something you want to share with the rest of the world. For me, it's marketing. That's what I went to school for. That's what I studied, and I took a liking to it in everything that I've done throughout my short life. So I mean, I'm here trying to market myself. And anything that we do, we're marketing. And it's understanding the little intricacies in that and how it really makes things happen around us, how things get on the shelf, how was I convinced to buy this dress or the car that I drive. Everything that influences us, it's some marketing that takes place to make it happen. So.
And I know you. I'm going to go through the businesses for a few minutes.
Or
if you don't mind.
entrepreneurships.
Yeah, entrepreneurships. Yeah, because if you sell an entrepreneurship, you got to show that you're
have to have
entrepreneur
something.
yourself.
Yes,
You got to have
definitely.
some proof, right? But this is your magazine. You founded this magazine,
Yes.
Posh. Posh.
That's very posh.
It's very posh. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's nice
Lots of
looking.
local talent in there as well.
Nice looking. How does this magazine relate to J Marketing?
Well, I put it under the J Marketing Group umbrella, as one of the many things that I'm looking to get involved in. I guess part of being an entrepreneur, you kind of dip your hand in different little things to keep yourself busy. As you might be aware of, I've been doing Posh since 2005, before I moved back home to the Virgin Islands from Maryland. And I took a little short break as I was going through some things and working on a full-time job. And now I'm back at it again.
And what does it get? What does it get to? Why should I be reading Posh?
Well, Caribbean entertainment and lifestyle, it basically is a platform to celebrate just talent. Whether you're a photographer, we have a lot of local photographers featured in there. You might be familiar with Kevon Richardson. If you're a writer, if you're a fashion designer like Kristen Fraser, basically, if you need a platform to showcase what you can do, that's what Caribbean Posh is. I'm modeling it really to be also the essence of the Caribbean. So I really want it to really, grow continuously and just really be something that people could be proud of. It's not just for me, it's for all of us. So pick it up.
Great.
Check it out.
Goal.
Let me know what you think about it. There's also an interesting article on, the cover story is Pressure for this issue, Pressure out of St. Thomas. So you'll see a lot of familiar faces in this particular issue. In the past, I've featured major Caribbean names like Shaggy and Wyclef Jean. Even the likes of Patti LaBelle has been featured. So it's not just Caribbean, people who love the Caribbean as well. But I don't want to say too much.
Yeah.
Pick it up
Yeah.
and let me know what you think. Local writers in there as well. That's what I was alluding to earlier. An article about the Virgin Islands economy, which relates to kind of what we're really here for too. Entrepreneurship and how that influences the economy as well. So, yeah.
So we need to get a hold of that and check it out. So I have my own personal copy.
Yes.
So I'm going to check it out.
Okay.
You marketing, Barnes PR, public relations.
Yes.
What kind of things you do?
I am the proprietor of Barnes PR. We started in 2009. I used to work with government information services. I was a public information officer. And for me, I tend to be a bit passionate about a lot of things. And I just really wanted a life that I could wake up every day. I'm just very passionate about going to work. I don't want to ever be one of those persons that dread Monday morning or hoping for Friday happy hour to come. So I had an extremely fulfilling experience at the time working in government. But I knew that, as Jeanette alluded to also, I had a bit more passion about certain things, and I really wanted to use my talents and skills specifically in an area that I thought that I could be a lot more useful. And so I started Barnes PR, basically just to try to do something with myself and earn a living. And it really has been fulfilling. And in public relations, I've been really blessed to have a number of clients locally and regionally that are doing substantial work in their communities. For me, in terms of my public relations company, my niche for me is really trying to work with people who are really trying to develop their communities.
Making a social difference.
Yeah, making a social difference. And that's one of the reasons that I was really attracted to bringing Global Entrepreneurship Week in the Virgin Islands, the brand of Barnes PR. Those are the types of things that my company will be doing in the future, and I hope that we continue to have the opportunity to do those types of projects in the territory. Okay.
Now, did you have to have a charter, a membership? How is your affiliation with Global Entrepreneurship Week?
It really was not that formal. About 2 years ago, I contacted their head office in DC, just trying to see exactly how I could get involved. And they responded immediately to me. And because we're an overseas territory, they put me onto the UK branch. For particular reasons, I would have to follow the UK branch. And from the UK branch, I've really gotten a lot of support and a lot of help from their Global Entrepreneurship Week organizers in terms of just direction, what to do, past experiences, and so forth. Don't quote me on this, but I think that we might be the only overseas territory in the region that's actually participating in activities. I know that the Bahamas, Antigua, and St. Kitts, they are doing quite a bit of activities as well. So I'm glad that we're ahead of some of our OTs. And just really excited about getting the week off and sharing a lot of information with people in the territory about entrepreneurship and hopefully inspiring a new generation of entrepreneurs in the territory.
So Global Entrepreneurship Week is a week of celebrations, but the name of the organization is?
It's Global Entrepreneurship Week, GEW.
That's the name of the organization. So what kind of support do entrepreneurs get from Global Entrepreneurship Week?
For me, it's mainly has been, technical support in terms of what has worked, what has not worked in the past. And in planning and organizing all of that, they give you literally a blueprint to plan activities, suggestions, and so forth. If you need to talk things through, I've had conference calls with persons just trying to talk things through in terms of just giving me direction in how to go about the activities. I'm excited that we might actually be a part of a case study in terms of launching Global Entrepreneurship Week in the Virgin Islands, and hopefully that will be used with different overseas territories.
But you get support for your business?
No, there's no financial support.
Not the financial support, but I mean technical support for your business. I mean, is there a relationship where are you just
In terms
spreading?
of
Are you just
development.
spreading? Are you just spreading the concept of entrepreneurship to encourage other entrepreneurs or persons thinking about it, don't know how to go about it? That you try to encourage them to become entrepreneurs, or as an entrepreneur member yourself, you get some kind of technical support. The relationship is such that you get some kind of technical support from the international body.
At this time, that type of technical support in terms of trying to develop you as an entrepreneur is not a component of being a host for Global Entrepreneurship Week. And the idea of me or Barnes PR being a host of Global Entrepreneurship Week is to bring the concept to the territory. And it's not necessarily providing that bit of like a hand holding in my development as an entrepreneur. The support that I get is in terms of how to execute some of these activities, which in the long term, it really helps me as well. But it's mainly just about spreading the word of Global Entrepreneurship Week.
Okay. Well, we're going to take a break. And when we come back, we're going to talk about some of the activities coming up for the week. And how do you become an entrepreneur, and what does this all mean for the territory economically and socially. Keep it locked right at the Spotlight. We'll be right back after.
Spotlight is brought to you by the National Bank of the Virgin Islands, Clarence Thomas Limited, the BVI Tourist Board, and CCT Global Communications.
Welcome back to Spotlight. I'm having a really interesting and great conversation with Saskia Barnes of Barnes Public Relations, Barnes PR, and Janet Bryn of J Marketing. And we're talking about Global Entrepreneurship Week that's coming up starting November the 18th, right? And it's going to the 21st.
Yes.
Yeah. The phone number is going to come up on the screen. The phone and text number is going to come up on the screen. If you feel so inclined to call, ask a question, make a comment. If you want to become an entrepreneur, these sisters might be able to give you some advice. I know starting up a business is not an easy thing, and you need to have a good idea of what you're doing, prior to investing your money into starting your company. So this is going to be an interesting week for you to become involved in and participating for your own personal benefit. And we want to talk about the events that's going to come up in the week ahead to celebrate Global Entrepreneurship Week.
Yes. As you indicated, the week starts on November 18th, and the first activity we're going to have, it's titled Confessions of an Entrepreneur. And in this activity, we're going to have the Minister of Education, Culture and Youth Affairs. He's going to be having a rap session with about 80 to 100 students at H. Lavity Stout Community College. As many persons should know, he was a pretty notable entrepreneur before entering public life. So he's going
He still is, yeah.
He still is. So he's going to be having an intimate conversation with young persons about his experience. And it's specifically set up for them to feel comfortable to ask him any particular questions. Oftentimes, even in my experience, I had to get a couple of mentors when I started my business. I didn't go to business school. I never really thought of myself as an entrepreneur. So you realize that the process in terms of how to get from point A to point B, you're totally unaware. You see it, you might want to get there, but you don't really know how to get there. So he's going to be having an intimate discussion with young persons, just recounting his experience, and they'll have the opportunity to ask him whatever question they would like pertaining to business.
Yeah. Before you go on to the next activity, it's quite interesting that you say that, because a lot of us think that because we have a skill, because we have a skill set, I might be a print production manager, and I may think because I know how to produce books that I could become a businessman. So I'll go open up a company as a production manager to produce books and brochures and printed material generally, and find that when I was doing it for someone, it was great because that's all I did. But now that I'm doing it for myself, I got to go get business, I got to keep the books, I got to pay other people, and I think a lot of us don't understand that That's why there is something called a Master of Business Administration.
Yeah.
You have this great skill, but you don't know anything about business. You could get lost trying to start.
And you can
a
get
business.
yourself in some serious trouble.
Serious trouble.
Yeah, it is quite a risk. I don't think that when we say getting into business or being an entrepreneur, it's a bit risky. It really is. There's a great saying that I've heard repeated a number of times about entrepreneurs. You jump off the cliff and you learn how to fly on your way down.
Yes.
And that really is the truth. Numbers aren't my best friend, but I've had to learn to embrace the numbers, to understand the numbers, and to deal with projections and so forth.
And persons going in to be an entrepreneur, should they go look at how to do business? If they have a skill, obviously you have a skill, but would you encourage them to take courses or go online and study some?
Take courses if you can. Definitely take the time to learn about what it is you want to do. For me, for example, with the magazine, I knew it was something that I liked. I loved going to the grocery store and picking up beautiful magazines and looking at the pretty pictures and all of that. But it took time to learn about how that all comes together. Essence magazine isn't plastered across the shelf in the place that it is by accident. There's payment that occurs to make that happen in every state across America or even in the Caribbean, global, for you to be able to see that. Even in the music industry, it's everything is very strategic. Nothing is accidental at all, So it's learning about that industry, learning that, well, for me, the magazine, it's a niche and not considered mainstream. So all these different things that you have to learn to figure out how you're going to strategically position yourself to market your product or your service. With J Marketing Group now, it's, okay, I made the commitment. I've been in marketing. I understand marketing. I have a passion for it. I want to provide it as a service to other entrepreneurs or small businesses in the community in which I live.
You gotta go get business.
I gotta go get business.
You gotta keep the records.
You have to do everything.
I have to do everything.
There are no sick days. You
There's
can't call out.
So definitely having that passion for it and taking the time to not only, it's not a one-time or learn all you can in this moment. It's continuous learning all the time because
as you have the experience.
Things change, trends change. We have new ways of marketing ourselves today. Before it was just standard media.
Newspaper.
TV, a newspaper. Now we're in social media. Now we tweeting and we Facebooking and we can't do without our smartphones.
That's for sure.
So how to do all those different things and how they work for your business.
Yeah. So November 18 at 12 p.m.,
Yes.
Confessions of an Entrepreneur, and that's at the Eileen L. Parsons Auditorium. And then what's after that?
November 18th, again, the same Monday at 6 p.m., we have a symposium titled Take a Step Forward, the Future of Entrepreneurship in the Virgin Islands. And we're doing that in association with H. Lafty Stout Community College, who came on board quite quickly to support this effort. And it's basically a conversation with various entrepreneurs throughout our community. And we're also going to have Mr. Kevin Smith, who is the Director of Trade and Consumer Affairs. He's going to be on the panel as well. So we're hoping to have a healthy, honest conversation about entrepreneurship and what it really takes to be an entrepreneur in the Virgin Islands. And that's going to be at 6 p.m., again at the Eileen L. Parsons Auditorium.
Okay.
On November 19th, we have Marketing Muscle Without the Overhead, and that's a workshop. It's going to be a free workshop that Ms. Jeanette Bryn, our marketing guru here, is going to be doing, and I'll let her tell you a little bit more about it.
Yeah, so basically what I hope to achieve here in that the discussion that we'll be having over at the Moorings is helping other entrepreneurs like myself or small businesses basically figure out how they're going to get clients, how they're going to sell their business and make their business grow. helping them understand the importance of marketing. Some people tend to put marketing on the back burner, see it as a typical overhead cost that you could do without, but it's something that you need to do. Even if you could carve out some little small budget to market your business, it's important. It's important that it's not only done, but done correctly, because marketing is such a broad term.
Yes.
You know, there's so many different ways that you can market your business, but at the end of the day, you know, it's making sure that you're able to track what you did, you find that return on investment, you know, and it's reaching who you need to reach when you need to reach them.
And another thing that we like to ignore is the research.
Definitely.
You know, we see marketing in terms of sales.
Yes.
Right, but we don't see marketing in terms of data gathering. You know, and I think that's a challenge we have here in the territory. I remember when I came home first, I was doing marketing for the Beacon newspaper.
Okay.
Right, and it's almost like every sales presentation I made was a mini seminar. I think marketing has come a long way. The acceptance,
Yes.
the acceptance of person realizing the need to sell your product on the various media, it's come a long way. When I started out in 1995, what you just said was really, really true then, that putting money into something as quote unquote intangible as paying for advertisement,
Yeah.
you know, it was like, what I need that for? You know, I just need to be open. You know, I just need to open up a door,
And people will come.
and people will come. Yeah, it's
a lot
come
more
a
than
long
that.
way.
Yeah, it's you know, it's not something you should take for granted. There's a reason why even some of the most successful brands in the world continue to spend millions of dollars in marketing. You know, McDonald's is who I always reference.
Coca-Cola.
But they don't stop. They're continuously investing in marketing and redeveloping their product and trying to figure out how to not only stay in the hearts and minds of the adults, but they're trying to get the new ones.
New generation, right?
You know, they're trying to stay current with what's happening.
Yeah. Where the
you
trends
know.
are,
Well,
where
yeah.
everybody's thinking, where they're going, what they're
Yes,
wearing, how
you
they're
know,
behaving.
That's why Pepsi paid millions of dollars to get Beyonce, because she's the hottest thing on the market right
Yeah,
now.
yeah.
So they want to be associated with that.
Yeah.
You know, so how do you, if you look at those big things that we look at on TV and stuff like that, how do you narrow it down to a small business? You know.
Yeah.
So we're trying to figure out how to do those things and help our local entrepreneurs.
And that's going to be at the
succeed.
Moorings conference room
Yes.
Yes.
On November 19th at 6 p.m.
at 6 p.m. And then on the 20th,
On the 20th, we wanted to have an online component, so we're having a Twitter chat, and that's going to be done in conjunction with Brother Magazine based in the Bahamas. And what we're doing is trying to gather Caribbean entrepreneurs. I fundamentally believe that entrepreneurs really can be the solution to many of our problems in the region, whether you're an entrepreneur really trying to turn over and make a serious profit, or you're getting into social entrepreneurship. Frankly, I think the time has long gone that we have to depend on offices and external aid in terms of really trying to transform our lives. So we are trying to gather like-minded young persons, older persons, seasoned veterans across the region to really have an online discussion about what we're doing in our respective islands in terms of business and business development. Last week, Friday, we had a test run of our chat, and we had persons from the Bahamas, Tobago, Caribbean persons based in Florida and Anguilla as well. So we're doing another test run again, but on the 20th, we're going to be having the big serious conversation about entrepreneurship in the region, and persons can follow the conversation by, of course, should have a Twitter account. TweetDeck is a pretty easy app to use in terms of just following the conversation. And the hashtag is hashtag BMConnect, and it's hashtag BMConnect.
okay, you need to repeat that again, right?
I'm sorry.
You look right into the camera and you repeat that again because you want people to log on to that, right?
Yes.
Yes.
We're going to be having a Twitter chat. If you have a Twitter account, you can easily make your own Twitter account in a matter of 2 minutes. You can log on to TweetDeck and hashtag BMConnect. That's hashtag BMConnect. And join the conversation on November 20th at 1 p.m. And that's online.
Yeah. And it's interesting that you said, we don't need a big office space to be an entrepreneur with all the new technology.
You just need a connection.
You just need, yeah. And I want you to introduce you to my little office right here. This little my mini iPad. My iPad mini is my office. Is my assistant.
Yes.
My personal secretary. My accountant.
Yes.
And I think entrepreneurs need to know that because when you think about starting your own business, the first thing you start thinking about is, man, where am I going to get the money from? I need startup money, and I need space, and I need this, and I need that. But you really need to just do it.
Yeah.
Right? Information is really the key here.
Yeah.
That's why this is so important.
Yeah, definitely. And we definitely want to engage the community in a conversation, a serious conversation about entrepreneurship. Let me just go to the last event, and then I just kind of want to backtrack to something that you said earlier. The final event for the week, it will be on November 21st at 6 p.m. at the courtyard at the Moorings Village, and that's an event that I titled Ideas and Cocktails. And basically it's a networking session, it's a meetup. We are trying to flood the Moorings courtyard with entrepreneurs and resource persons. I find just in my personal experience, we often don't have the opportunity to really engage each other in healthy conversation. Persons tend to kind of stick in their quarters and what's not. We want to encourage entrepreneurs across all industries in the Virgin Islands to come out and to simply engage each other. I think that we need to have a serious and again honest conversation about entrepreneurship in the Virgin Islands. You mentioned something earlier about statistics and having those numbers and so forth. A constant challenge and a constant cry that I hear from my fellow entrepreneurs is you really can't get real numbers. If I'm trying to create some sort of marketing plan or trying to go to a sponsor for a particular event, as passionate as I can be about that event, at the end of the day, that sponsor wants to know how many persons are going to be there, what's the market like, what's the temperature like. And the truth of the matter is, in the private sector, we do need systematic support from public offices in terms of providing that information so that we can make conscious decisions. The bank does not want to know that you think you have a good idea. The bank wants to leverage that idea against, the population, the number. Is the market really open for that type of idea? And how well will you really do with your idea? So things like statistics, things like how long it really takes for someone to actually get a business license in the Virgin Islands. I definitely do not want this week to be a week where we have activities and light conversation. The way things are right now in our community, I think it's very important that our private sector has the opportunity to grow much more than it is right now. And I think David Cameron, he said that 60% of the workforce in the United Kingdom, they are actually employed by small businesses. They are actually, small businesses are the ones that are actually really making the change and really making that dent in making sure that people actually have good and honest work. So we need to really kind of have a conversation. How can we replicate what's being done in Brazil, Argentina, even the US is now coming back. They just recently had their jobs report out and so forth. We need to, instead of just kind of watching these things happen, we need to actively involve ourselves in the conversation and to see how we can turn things around for ourselves here in the territory. So while we're going to have a great week of activities, again, I really hope that we can have an honest conversation.
Serious discussions. I mean, even with me looking for sponsorship, You know, it used to be a time when I say, yeah, listen, bro, you know, give me a sponsor. You know, I got this nice show, and we do this and we do that, and we talk about this and we talk about that, and these are the topics and these are the guests we usually have. And you know, and a lot of people watch it, and you know, money's flowing. You know, so they give you a sponsor, they know you. You know, you get.
And
you
when
know,
that money isn't flowing,
you go when I go now. They how many people watching your show?
Yeah.
How do you know this?
yeah.
You know,
What's the Gallup poll?
Yeah, you know, where's your data on how many people you're reaching on a Tuesday night? You know, is it going to be cost effective for me to sponsor you? You know, I got limited marketing funds. I had to cut back on my budget, and I want to get the most of my money. So I need to know how many people watching your show that's between the ages of 35 and 55, and what are their incomes, and what are they buying?
Yes. So basically,
you know,
everybody's looking for a return on investment.
Yes.
And a big thing that I think, you know, having been on both sides of the spectrum in terms of sponsorship, a very important thing for people to know in business, and when you're trying to sell an event, you have to not only have as much information as possible, but you have to know who you're pitching this idea to. You know, I can't go to Delta or any old company if I don't know that this event fits in for their brand.
Yes.
Know who you're going after. Just don't pitch it to everybody. Yeah. You don't understand your client. I mean, well, or your
potential client.
Sponsor.
Yeah. The relationship that you're going to have with them,
Yes.
Is it a right match for what they're trying to achieve?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, this is a lot of information that you're going to have, and a lot of activities coming up. This is going to cost a pretty penny, right? I'm going to have to pay, as a young entrepreneur, a lot of money to come to these events.
Actually, no. I guess I'm showing my age as well. I'm a millennial, and I, kind of came of age in terms of Wikipedia. I believe that I should have information for free, and I would, as this is going to be a springboard for different events for next year and what's not. But all of these events are actually free to the public. There's no event.
So there's no charge.
There's no charge.
So you could come and get all this information about starting your business, about the
Marketing.
experience, about marketing, about the experience all the entrepreneurs have had, and benefit from that experience. And
it's all for free.
It's all for free.
All for free.
That is fantastic.
And I think one of the things, in terms of having something for free, it benefits my business, it benefits Jeanette's business, it benefits JTV when we have a vibrant local economy. I'm going to have persons who are saying, hey, I might need some public relations help. You might have persons that are saying, I just opened this business. Can I come on your show? Can I sponsor your show or something of the sort? So I think that it's very important for us to look at entrepreneurs in not that we're, this whole idea of, you're just making lots of money for yourself.
Right.
You really are contributing to the entire community and really trying to help funds flow through the entire community. So everything is for free in hopes of have us having a more vibrant local private sector and a better economy in general.
I wish we had more time, because there's this concept that I'm dying to discuss with you both, the whole concept of entrepreneurial stewardship of a community. And I find that as local business people, we focus a lot on on the bottom line, trying to make money, but we don't focus a lot on our social responsibility as business people in the community. And I think that we suffer because of that. We suffer when we see our kids involved in criminal activity.
Yes.
I think businesses have a responsibility to help to mitigate the challenges that young people have in the community. The businesses provide food, clothing, shelter for all of us, and so that concept, I don't think I'm not seeing us as business people embracing that concept of stewardship of a country, of stewardship of a community. And that's something I would like to discuss with you. So I'm going to have you back.
We're more than happy to come back.
We're going to have you back, and we're going to have that discussion. So it's going to be great. Final words. Somebody want to contact you. There's any registration? Where can they get the information? Just show up. how does it work?
Though you can visit my website www.barnespr.com/GEW. That's BARNESPR /GEW. You'll have the full listing of events. The major event that we would like you to register for is the November 19th event, Marketing Muscle Without Overhead with J Marketing Group, spearheaded by Jeanette Bryn. Just so it's limited space, so we just want to make sure that we have enough time, enough space for everyone. But you can get the full rundown of the schedule there. You can also get the rundown on Barnes PR's Facebook page /BarnesPR. I'm on Instagramming my life away about this journey with GEW. And my Instagram is just Saskia Barnes. On Twitter, I'm Saskia Barnes, SACHKIA BARNES.
Okay. And
Okay.
they can contact you as well?
Yes, you can contact me as well. I have the schedule on jmarketinggroup.com. That's jmktgroup.com. Facebook, Twitter, all the usual suspects.
And let me just, before I go, just say a very big thank you for the persons who have supported us thus far. Again, H. Lavity Stout Community College. JTV has wonderfully came on as a media sponsor. Of course, J Marketing Group. And we're just working with a bunch of other persons as well to really just try to get this week off and going. And I also have to say a very big thank you to our premier, Honorable Dr. D. Orlando Smith, who has endorsed the week and will be delivering a message about the importance of entrepreneurship to the Virgin Islands economy during that week.
That's great. That's great. Next week, the spotlight is going to shine on a new global phenomenon called business disruption. Business disruption. I don't know how many of us know about the concept, but it's an interesting concept, how your businesses is being disrupted with the proliferation of internet access. So we're going to have two very important brothers who's looking at this phenomenon and how to mitigate this particular circumstance developing. So you've got to be here for Spotlight next Tuesday. Spotlight is seen Tuesdays at 8 p.m. here on JTV Channel 55 and rebroadcast Sundays at 2:30 p.m. We stream live on jtvlive.net. You can also view all the spotlights you missed or ones that you want to revisit on jtvlive.net. Thank you for watching. Thanks for your words of encouragement. Thank you for suggestions and criticism. Continue to email me at jtvspotlight@yahoo.com. I'm Ed Juenka. When the spotlight is on, you see the facts. Peace and blessings.
Spotlight is brought to you by the National Bank of the Virgin Islands, Clarence Thomas Limited, the BVI Tourist Board, and CCT Global Communications.